Good morning and welcome to First Trinitarian Congregational Church, United Church of Christ. God is still speaking. Today we are taping this service on a Thursday in the rain. We are hoping that you will start it at 10 o'clock, this YouTube video that we send the link to. If you started at 10 o'clock, that you have a candle ready during our time of prayer to light your own candle in your house. We think that we are blessed to be together, even if we can only be together in a virtual community. Let's come in and worship together today. Join me.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us during these times that a new normal is being held out to us that we must embrace. We're grateful for your support, and we hope that we can provide you some support through these days. Join me now in the call to worship. Serve God with gladness.
Come before God's presence with singing.
Enter God's gates with thanksgiving.
Open God's doorways with praise.
Give thanks to God and bless God's name. For the Holy One is good. God's steadfast love endures forever, and God's faithfulness to all generations. Let us pray together. O God of love, bless our going in and coming out. Help us to not lose sight of our goals or become discouraged by our journey. Help us on our way, O God. If we change our course, let it not be in its self-interest, but in the interest of Christ within us. Lead us to an honest searching. Let it lead to the recognition of your face in all things. As we enter and exit your glory, grant us your sustaining spirit. In the name of Christ, who entered and exited all places, pervaded by your eternal now, bless us. As Jesus taught us to pray, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver
mini message. And today, I want to invite, if you have children at home or youth at home, to gather them around in time for just bringing what we are saying down to the very essential ingredients so that everybody, young or old, can really understand what we are saying. Now, as many of you know, things have changed a little bit. Some of you are at school, are home from school. Some of you have new structures that your parents are putting in place, new routines. Things are way different than they used to be. So I want to invite one of our singers to come and help me with this time. Okay, now, your name again is?
Rachel.
Rachel. So Rachel is going to pretend that maybe she's a few years younger than she is today. And now, if you were in middle school, or let's say elementary school, if you came home from school, how would you greet your mother or your father? Yes, okay, that's far, close enough. Okay, but you see, a big hug, right? You come home from school or the store or your friend's house and you just want to give people a big hug. Is that something that we're going to do now? No. In fact, I have a tape measure to show you how close we're supposed to be with one another to stay safe so that we don't spread any bugs. Okay, 6 feet. Okay, Rachel, you need to back up a little bit. Back up. That is 6 feet. You see that distance? That's the safe distance that we need to keep. That's a long way. And it can make you feel like that's kind of a sad thing. But Rachel, do we have to not be friendly to one another? No, we can be friendly towards one another. We can show how much we love one another. What are some ways that if you wanted to show somebody how much you miss them, but you wanted to keep a safe distance, what might you do? Yeah, you can be happy. You can show how happy you are, right? You can say, like, pretend I was your mom. What would you say?
I love you.
I love you. Yeah, something like that. It's so nice to see you. We can be friendly, we can be filled with joy, and we can still be safe and not spread this coronavirus around, okay? So, my message to you is that we can be safe, but we can also be joy-filled, and we can continue to show one another how much we love one another, and we can gather together virtually like this. You can come in and talk to me and meet me if you wish with your parents, and we can continue to be a great church. Let's have a prayer. Holy God, we give you thanks for this day. In this new time where we cannot be as physically close as we used to be before we wash our hands and get all safe, be with us. Help us to be loving and kind to one another and be faithful to one another during this time of social distancing. May the people say amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're being very safe, taking care of one another, and we're going to share in a scripture reading from Psalm 121, if you care to follow along. I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where will my help come? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. He will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. He who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade at the right hand. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will keep your going in, going out, and your coming in from this time on and forevermore. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
Good morning. Today I imagine you coming in from the gateway of your computer, laptop, smartphone, to this place of love and wholeness to hear a word of hope in this anxiety-ridden world of ours. A word of hope that might drive away despair, isolation, loneliness. A word of hope that might be necessary in this time of our pandemic. This is why the centering image for today's Sunday is the front door. Why we entered through that front door this morning. I think that you have all probably been coming out of that door, coming into that door your whole life. Sometimes you felt joy. Sometimes you felt the obligation of family. You better come to church. Sometimes as you left this building, maybe you were aware of something bigger going on. Maybe there was war, rumors of war, a new marriage to live into, the passing of a dear friend or relative. Whether you knew it or not, you were seeking the blessing of the gate. There was always a little anxiety at the gate. And today, in all of our gates, we are seeking blessing. Now, seeking the blessing of the gate is a very old thing. In the classical world, there was the god Hermes. Hermes is the icon, actually, of FedEx, I believe. And Hermes was the winged, helmeted god, and he had a staff with snakes and wings. And the Hermes was at every gate, the staff with the wings, and it was at the border of every town. Hermes is the one who's the messenger of the gods. And Hermes is the one who's quick-witted, who knows how to negotiate the boundaries mindfully. And, you know, Hermes is a good God to think about, because we need to be mindful like Hermes. We need to be mindful of our boundaries. We need to be quick-witted. But the ancient Hebrew people also sought the blessing of the gates far earlier than our classical mythology. They would say, Yahweh Shamar Yatza Torata. God will watch or guard your coming in and your going out. And that's where the psalm comes in today. This understanding of faith that the Lord will keep your going in and your coming out is a theme all throughout the Old Testament. It is mentioned in Deuteronomy 28:7 and many other places, altogether over 24 places. And biblical scholars, such as my Old Testament professor at Andover Newton, Terrell Fontaine, had studied this phrase in the original languages from all over the Near Eastern world and had come to the conclusion that it goes back to the story of Abraham, and it goes back to the story of Exodus, where the people were wandering, where they were always coming in and going out. They were setting up camps in a new territory, in a new place. And the thing is, whenever you set up, whenever you come in, wherever you go out, is a time of great anxiety and stress. Because your family, they can't find their toys, they can't find their stuff. They start to say, where did you put that? Where did you put this? And then there were other tribes who would try to prey on them because they knew they were most vulnerable when they were setting up their camp and breaking it down. And so they would say, God bless my going in and my coming out, or my coming out and my going in. They would say that prayer as a way of centering themselves and knowing that they were blessed, calming down so that they could be a people and not fight with one another, help one another. Aren't we also in this same position today? God, bless my coming out and my going in. The gate is so important. There are gates of intimacy. There are gates of new friendship. Each person, each creature, each building has a gate. Right now, in this coronavirus fear, we are very much concerned about guarding our personal gates, our mouth, our eyes, our nose. We are cautious of others who have passed through our gates, the gateways of airports, of different towns. Now we bring our little bottles of hand sanitizers with us everywhere. We ask our loved ones, oh, now did you wash your hands? Did you still have that bottle of hand sanitizer in your car? And this whole world is starting to become gripped with fear. Look at the markets. I could understand a stock market correction, but sometimes these drastic plummets just speak of an irrational panic. Sometimes there are shortages in grocery stores. Why? Is it because we don't have enough supplies, enough food for everybody? No, it's because people are scared and stocking up their little castles behind their gates. And I hear that there are lines at gun shops now. Is it because everybody's suddenly interested in hunting? I don't think so. The assurance that God really will bless your going out and coming in as we are mindful of our gates is critical. It's critical because we must go out and we must come in. And coming out and going in is something that we always face. With every change, with every transition, whether we like it or not, no matter how much gold we have, or pasta, or toilet paper, or how many guns we have, we must cross the thresholds. And others must always cross the thresholds too. Why not do it without succumbing to this anxiety, depression, sleeplessness, binge eating, drinking? Guess what? I think we can be a loving, hopeful church filled with emotionally healthy people, even as we wash our hands and don't get closer than 6 feet with one another. If we can remember that our faith can deal with change, we can embrace this, what it could be a wonderful adventure. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in. We get to spend time with our children, love them. We get to embrace our grandchildren as they return from college. As we work from home, we can walk more. Even if we can't go to the gym, we can take time to pray and meditate. We can ask our favorite local store or restaurant if they have a GoFundMe page on their website so that they can afford to keep paying some of their employees. And we can be a church. We can support this community, which is one of the founding communities of this town itself. God will bless us if we but remember that we are indeed the church and that we rest on the shoulders of the nomadic giants like Abraham and Moses. And let's face it, Jesus was a nomad and always going in and coming out. And the apostles were nomads, always coming in and going out. We have to remember our song. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time on forevermore. You are an open and affirming church. You know about this idea of extravagant welcome and radical hospitality. With the meetings, with individuals and phone calls and emails and Zoom meetings, I have already felt totally welcome by you. We are used to treating the gates of this church like it is the gate of your own home. When people come over, you orient them to the space. You make sure they're comfortable, have something to drink, something to eat, introduce them to others so that they can have something to talk about in common. We know what it is to not just tolerate somebody, but to affirm them fully for however they may be in all of their unique diversity. We don't have to change the spirit of this community just because of some coronavirus. Remember, we are a special church that loves many people that the global church has turned away. This church, like all UCC churches, is a precious and special gift. And we can still be this place. You can still come in and talk to me one-on-one. I will respect the distance. We can help those who are in need. Anybody in our community who might need groceries or is shut in, who might need help. We can be a place of extravagant welcome. We can share the blessings of this place with everybody. Virtually. Send them the link. Share the message. Pray and meditate. Let your loving kindness show to all that you say, to whom you say, namaste. Or, I'm so happy to see you. All of us viewing this right now are in one level or another looking for a deeper place. I know I am. All of us are aware that we must somehow center ourselves in blessing if we are to be able to cross all of these thresholds and all of the worry about the thresholds. Like we're low on hand sanitizer. Can you go to this CVS and this CVS? And you got to think about all of those thresholds and the people who might be in there. And we have so many other thresholds too. Like all of us, we're a multi-generational place. You know, some of us are just beginning to come home from college, and some of us are just raising a family, and some of us are sending their kids to college, and some of us are elders. Everybody, every day, needs that blessing. God bless my going out and my coming in. Our church community is facing change and challenge. I'm sorry that we cannot meet in person, but together we can smile. We can be friendly. We can keep that social distance that will enable us to decrease the impact of this virus, but we can still worship God and acknowledge that light of Christ that exists in each of us, the light of God. God will bless us. It's a promise, and this promise stands on the shoulders of an even bigger promise. This is my Son, my beloved, with whom I am well pleased. These were the words of your baptism and your community. Remember, you don't have to be perfect to earn that blessing. Remember that God has already promised that you are a blessing. And with this promise, we can face our challenges with confidence, with our heart open, with our eyes open, with our open, clean hands, with open minds, able to exercise, thanks to God's grace, the ministry of extravagant welcome and radical hospitality, even if we can only meet virtually. And with this confidence, we can continue to support and sustain one another. And this very special, dear community outside our gates. The world has changed. But it needs our confidence, our hope, and the sense of grace that has already flown into our lives. And it needs it now more than ever. So peace to you indeed. Let us continue to be an amazing church together. May the people say amen.
Amen.
Praise
invite you to get your candle somewhere that you might have and put it in a special spot. And as we light our candle, we ask you to light your candle in your place, to make your home a special place of worship as you join us in spirit. Looking at that candle, I invite you to find a silent place in your heart. I'd like to think about God's Spirit moving into my body and leaving my body with each breath. As I breathe in, I think of God's Spirit entering me. As I breathe out, I just let go of my worries, my fears, my thoughts, those voices that might be bothering you. Just embrace God's Spirit with each breath. At this time with your family, I invite you to lift up your prayer concerns, to open your heart, to let God in, whether it's verbally with your family or just silently. I'm worried about people who have special health concerns, who might be particularly vulnerable right now. I lift up my own son, Owen, who has cystic fibrosis. And he just started working in Boston and had to move home where he feels like he's safer. I think of so many people living in fear. I think of all of the college kids who have had to come home, have had to have their sports canceled, their special trips overseas canceled, all of that excitement. I pray for everybody who is dealing with this issue today. I pray for our whole world. Holy God, bless our coming in and our going out. May we be filled with your loving kindness, the loving kindness of Christ. May we be filled with your blessing, the blessing of the gates. Be with this church. Make it strong. Help us to be connected. Help us to support our institution. Holy One, bless us all. In the name of Jesus Christ, we pray. And may the people say, Amen.
Amen.
Let us sing together our doxology. Well, I was going to go out there and do the benediction from the front door, but I've changed my mind because it was kind of wet and it was hard to negotiate the umbrellas going in and out. I just want to say thank you for your patience. We have never done this before. If you have any comments, please let us know how we can improve the service. But let us all be blessed. Holy God, may each household that is watching this, each person who has participated in this service, be truly blessed. We are here because of your grace, God. We are your people. In this humility, in this promise, let us be faithful, loving, and kind, and mindful of how to best deal with this pandemic that we're all struggling with. Peace to you. May the people say, Amen. It was so nice to see you. Come back next week. Blessings.